Well, we were initially responded to the first in area. It was the less damaged area in the city of West here. And we were allowed to come into the area as the residents came back into their homes. We were passing out water and just helping assist them and trying to just talk to them to help them and encourage them as they go through the process when they walk up and see their house, you know, in the condition that it's in. And my friend Jim, who is now my new friend, pulled up and I saw him and he walked in the house, so I had a carton of water and I just took it over there and set it in the driveway and kind of walked away. The Lord just kind of spoke to me, just kind of walk away and be still. So I walked across the street. All of a sudden Jim comes out the front door and he's madder than a hornet. And I could tell something was really wrong. I didn't know his story at the time. So I walked over and I introduced myself, and he was in post-traumatic stress and really bad. And he told me that he just lost his cat. He thought somebody had taken his cat, and it was really the straw that broke the camel's back for Jim. He'd seen his fellow firefighters die, and this was just too much for him.
I'd heard through rumors and stuff that they'd gone through and picked up all the animals in town, and which kind of bothered me because my cat, he's a scaredy cat, and something has stressed him out. He was fine when we left after the explosion, but I was afraid that someone came in and tried to get him and really tormented him really bad.
So Jim told me his story. I introduced myself and I told him, well, Jim, I see you on your hat, you're a firefighter. He says, yeah. He says, I was on the fire. He says, I was there when it blew. And I said, really? I says, well, I'm retired fire too. I work for a large fire department up for 33 years. So right then, we had this bond, this camaraderie. So Jim told me that he pulled up to the fire, and just as he pulled up, it blew up. And the problem was his screw was right there, and he saw them die right in front of him.
It's never a good thing when you have to bury somebody. It's worse when they're your friends. To know them and to see it happen myself, it's very, very surreal.
In the Bible, he told his disciples, the 12, he says, in this world, you're going to have trials and tribulations. And then he said, fear not, I have overcome the world. So he told them, I mean, these are his guys.
Right.
And he told them, hey, you know, you're going to have, you know, this world's a mess. And you're going to have things, but what I got your back. So the Lord just told me, he says, well, let's look at his cat, because all he kept mentioning was his cat. You know, I said, well, let's see if we can find your cat. And so from that point, I developed a relationship with Jim and tried to share my love for him, Christ's love for him, and that we're going to help him in any way we can.
I was looking for somebody that would know where he would have been, you know, because I thought he got picked up. And Chuck came by and he told me he'd help find him, which was great because, you know, he was there morally. You know, he did everything he could do. Him and his wife both have been fantastic. And as soon as Tiger came home that night, which was a surprise, the first thing I did was call Chuck, and, you know, I was elated, you know, just, you know, thank God that, you know, my cat's back. You know, it's not my cat, it's my baby.
He's got a lot to go through. There's going to be many days where he's going to be down, but every time he has one of those days, he calls me. And the one thing that Jim's told me is he wants hope. I told him about Jesus and how Jesus loved him, and he says, I used to believe that, but he says, I don't anymore. And he says, I'd love to have hope. And I said, Jim, I want to share with you about hope, and that hope is in Jesus Christ.
And they were there to support me, and they did. They supported me 110%, and they really helped us get through the first hour or two since we were home, and which made a big difference. It made a world of difference.
These people have suffered a huge tragedy, and we want to come in and help them. We want to come in and love on them. We want to come in and get their trust, and we want to be here for them to open the doors so they can receive Christ as their personal Savior.